Shawshank Redemption is written and directed by Frank Darabont. The movie follows the story of Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins, who was wrongfully accused of murder and sent to Shawshank Prison for 2 life sentences. In the Shawshank Prison, Andy meets Red, played by Morgan Freeman. For my analysis, we are going to skip to the end of the movie. Andy has already left the prison, and Red is still there, going about his everyday life. The beginning of this scene starts off just like the other 2 times that we have seen Red walk in while he's up for parole, or rejection, as they like to say in the movie. The door opens, and there's a slow dolly in, opening up to a room of 5 people sitting at a desk. The room is very symmetrical, with 4 windows and 5 curtains. This shot gives us the sense of what it's like to be the person walking into the room and feel the intimidation of the people in front of them. Next, we cut to a lower shot of Red standing in the room, giving us the angle of what the 5 people are seeing: a felon, serving his life sentence for murdering a man. When you look at Red, you can tell from the way that his face sits in a way that feels a little irritated, and the slouch of his shoulders and the casualness of his stance, that Red has done this multiple times.
Please sit down.
After the man asks him to sit down, he doesn't jump and move quickly. He slowly saunters over to the chair and takes his time.
Your files say you've served 40 years of a life sentence.
Now we see a shot of Red turned slightly to the side, leaned back and slouching in his chair, looking as annoyed as ever. This view of him is symbolizing that he has been through these motions many times before, and each time he gets the same answer.
You feel you've been rehabilitated?
Rehabilitated? Well, now let me see. You know, I don't have any idea what that means.
We now flip to a quick shot of the man who is conducting the meeting, but we are quickly cut off from him when Red begins talking to strengthen the idea that Red doesn't care what he has to say.
Well, it means you're ready to rejoin society.
I know what you think it means, Sonny.
When Red begins talking again, the camera doesn't move. This adds to the tension in the room. The stillness and the long take builds the audience to be on edge to what Red is going to say next.
To me, it's just a made-up word. A politician's word, so that young fellas like yourself can wear a suit and a tie and have a job. What do you really want to know? Am I sorry for what I did?
Well, are you?
It's not until after we see Red again in a separate shot that the camera begins to dolly in and doesn't stop until we are on a tight shot of Red. This is a very important part of the scene because of Red's blank stare.
There's not a day goes by I don't feel regret. Not because I'm in here, because you think I should. I look back on the way I was then. A young, stupid kid who committed that terrible crime.
As we get closer and closer to Red, our tension just continues to build, and at this point, the viewer now feels so much tension that it seems that they are in the room themselves.
But I can't. That kid's long gone, and this old man is all that's left. I gotta live with that.
Finally, we cut back to a tight shot of the man's face with his eyebrows pulled tight and a blank stare on his face, but seeming interested in what Red has to say. It wasn't until this moment that we knew anything about how the man was reacting to what Red was saying, and even now that we know what his face is saying, still no tension is relieved from the moment.
It's just a bullshit word. So you go on and stamp your form, Sonny, and stop wasting my time.
Once again, we cut back to the tight shot of Red that we have already seen, and when he finally finishes his answer to the man's question, we see a final shot of the whole room with all 5 people at the table and Red sitting in a chair with everyone staring at him.